Hey everyone, it is Rebecca, and I am so happy to be back in my studio and creating. Right now, I am really interested in this 100-day project this year. I've watched for a couple of years as people participated, and I was excited about it, but I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do. So I was in my studio yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday. Sorry, the medication that's trying to help me recover and heal has my brain a little fuzzy. But I found this, and you know I buy random things. So I had purchased this, oh gosh, a couple of years ago at an estate sale. This is just beautiful. And I knew that these would become covers for books someday for me. So right now, I counted them. The first thing I did was look at this and think, there's no way that's 100. But darn it, it is 100 pieces of fabric. So what better way for me to join in the 100-day project than to do one of these every day? Yay, yay, yay. So I'm a little behind because it took me a while to get myself straightened out, but I'm determined to catch up as best I can, or maybe just go with the flow, and this is the days I start. So I want to show you the first couple of days that I came up with. This is my first day, and while I was recovering, I was, of course, scrolling through the internet, and one of my friends on Facebook said that during this time of our quarantine or staying at home and being safe at home, she was teaching herself slow stitching. So I thought, oh, I've always wanted to do that. It sounds great. So Leslie Venable, thank you so much for mentioning that, because I'm definitely going to start doing more of that. So that is what this little piece is. It is some fabric staining. I stained these spots, and then I did some just meandering stitching. I had no plan beforehand. I just started stitching. But I really am enamored with what happened in this center area right there on the weave of the fabric. And I did this with just Tombow inks from my favorite Tombow water-based pens. This is, let me see, I think this is N15, yes. So anyway, shout out to Tombow for that. Just a random little stick that I had in my studio. Of course, I loved this, picked it up one day on a walk last year, and it's been sitting here, but I love the curliness of the little limbs. So I think that works very well on what I'm doing. It's got some beading. It's got some wire work. Of course, the stitching and the dyeing. So this is the kind of thing I'm going to be doing for the next 100 days here, is just taking all of my fun and love things that I have done and apply it to this fabric. So this is my day one. I call it forest. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It's just like an inky forest. This is my day two, and it is a meandering little piece. And I just had a lot of embroidery floss in my little storage container, just little pieces of embroidery floss. So I thought that would be fun to make little bushes or little flowers or something out of. And then I just created this really light meandering stitch. And again, I am not paying too much attention to planning it ahead of time. I'm just letting these pieces evolve. So this is day two of my 100-day project, and I'm calling that spring meandering because it is so beautiful out in my yard right now. I have, oh darn it, can't think of what they're called. I'm thinking gardenia, but I don't know. Anyway, Sorry, but the flowers are just beautiful out there right now, so they're giving me a lot of joy. So I was able this morning to get out and meander just a little bit in my garden with the help of canes and braces and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to show you this. This is one of the things I used to teach several years ago. I taught a class called Doodle Bags, where we actually painted fabric and then we created little accessories and purses and tote bags and all kinds of things out of them. And this is one I made in one of my classes that carried my laptop at the time. And so I just wanted to share that with you and show you some of the painting. This was painted by me, and then it was sewn very lightly, but I love it. I love the way it looks. And so I'm going to try to do some of that during this 100-day process too. So anyway, this is going to be my inspiration for today. And this is my piece of fabric for today. And these will probably all become part of a book, or a lot of them will become parts of books, maybe covers or interior pages. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this part. I'm going to use that to number the day and put the day down. If it has some kind of glue or something, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. And today, while I was playing with this one, the edges got frayed. So it's just going to be what happens. Whatever happens, happens. So I am going to get some colors out here. And we're just going to paint a little bit today. Just paint a tiny little bit. I don't need too much paint. I'm going to use some nice spring colors, yellow, pink. I'm going to use some white in here to make some circles, because you know I love circles. Always have, always will. May need a little more of the white for that. And I don't know if we're going to need green, but let's just put some out anyway, because this is fairly close to the color of the cloth. So I may just use the color of the cloth to be my green for today. Make sure that I am on camera. And the first thing I'm going to do is just take this scruffy old, it's called a chip brush, just a natural pure bristle chip brush. And this has been used many, many years, guys. And I don't want to put it in water first, because water will make natural bristles soften up a lot. And I want to keep these pretty stiff for what I'm going to do. To make these kind of marks on my fabric, I want to have the bristles pretty darn stiff. So I'm going to start with some white, and I'm just going to, I didn't prepare this fabric in any way, shape, or form. So this paint may seep down, and if it does, it does. That's just what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of white in here first, just to get some of that greenness out. Then I think I will come with yellow. I have a tendency when I paint to go from lighter to darker color. So that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And look how quickly this happens. It doesn't take a lot of overthinking. I'm not even cleaning my brush in between, because those will all make wonderful combinations in and of itself. And I want to see these brush marks. I really want to see those. That's part and parcel of the whole experience here, is to see those brush marks. And if I keep blending too darn much, they will all become one color, and I don't want that at all. So I'm just going to kind of step back now and call that pretty much done. I am going to let that dry for a couple of seconds, and then we will be back to do some other things on here. Okay, so that didn't take too very long to dry. Good thing. So I'm just going to come in here with a little toilet paper roll, and I'm going to roll it in my white paint. And I just want it messy. I don't want it to be perfect, and I'm going to come in and just put a couple of circles, maybe 3, and this one I'm going to twist because I want to get some variations in it, and that kind of was cool. I love what that did down there. And I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave the 3 alone because this is a small piece of fabric. I'm going to hold it up for you to see right now. Isn't that beautiful? Don't you love the brush strokes going through there? And this is going to be a wonderful background for me to do some stitching on. And of course, I'm going to be collaging on some of these. I'm going to be doing so many things, everything that I love to do. So there will be paper. I was thinking about putting some music on here, but I think I won't. I think I'm loving that so much, I'm going to let some stitching happen in here. Let me grab a Sharpie and let me do something on a piece of practice paper to make sure it's working. It is. And this is, of course, a permanent Sharpie. It's a super big one, which I don't really need. But anyway, it is what it is. Let me get some of that. And I think I'm just going to, I may come in with my ruler just to get a fairly straight line. And that, if it skips some of the places, that's okay too. That looks pretty good. And I think I am going to come in and cross over this. Let's see where we would like that crossing. And I'm going to leave my stitching in this area. So I'm just going to come in and cross it like that. Clean my ruler off. Let me keep that aside because I don't want that. And if there's, you could make dots. You can make all kinds of things while you have this. Don't think that you have to be perfect. I may just put some random dots here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put 9 because I like to use odd numbers always. That just was ingrained in me when I was studying art with my French masters. Don't make anything even. So I always put odd numbers of everything around. So I think I'm done for today. I'm excited with this. I haven't figured out how to show you that I will do the stitching. But I will figure that out, and I will also figure out how to make this wonderful accordion book again. I will figure that out for us, and maybe soon, if you say a little prayer for me, maybe I'll be healed enough to be able to stand here a while and create these videos again. So anyway, I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to paint the back, perhaps. Maybe, maybe not. Because that's kind of cool just like that. I think I won't paint it. But I'll find something to do with my leftover paint on my palette. And I will be back, God willing, tomorrow to play with you again. So this is my day 3 of the 100-day project, or the start of my day 3 100-day project. And I will see you back here tomorrow. And may joy be with you all.